exercise of its powers under Section 99 and 17B F of the Financial Institutions Act 2004 as amended, the Bank of Uganda placed Mercantile Credit Bank Limited under liquidation, revoked its license, and made an order for the winding up of its affairs effective June 18, 2024. The Deposit Protection Fund of Uganda was established by the government of Uganda with a mandate to pay depositors a protected limit in the event that their financial institution were closed by the Bank of Uganda. The current protected limit in Uganda is 10 million Uganda shillings. Accordingly, depositors of the closed Mercantile Credit Bank Limited are hereby informed as follows. 1. The DPF has commenced payment through mobile money of individual depositors with balances of 1 million Uganda shillings and below. Please note that to receive payment through mobile money, the name in your NIN must perfectly match that which was registered against your mobile money number. Payment of protected deposits to individual account holders whose protected deposit is above 10 million Uganda shillings and up to above 1 million Uganda shillings, but up to 10 million Uganda shillings, who submitted accurate NINs shall commence on Monday, July 1st, 2024, and the payment shall be made through Stanbic Bank, Lugogo branch during working hours. Depositors should go to the bank after receipt of an SMS notification. Please present your valid original national IDs to the bank. Company, joint and trust account holders. With effect from Monday, July 8, 2024, the fund shall start receiving and verifying documents of depositors who held company, joint and trust accounts. These depositors shall be required to submit the documents listed hereunder to the Deposit Protection Fund offices on Laudel Road, Nakasero, Kampala during working hours. Company account holders. 1. A letter confirming the account name in Mercantile Credit Bank and the names and signatures of signatories to the accounts. 2. A registered board resolution indicating the bank account to which the deposit should be paid. 3. Certificate of incorporation and location of the company. 4. Memorandum and articles of association. 5. Copies of the valid original national ID cards of the signatories. Documents number 2, 3, and 4 above should be certified by the Uganda Registration Services Bureau. Joint account holders. Copies of valid original national identity cards of the signatories. 2. Resolution signed by all account holders indicating the preferred mode of payment. Trust account holders. Registered trusts. Registration number of the trust deed. 2. Unregistered trusts. For Ugandans, the national identification number, and for non-Ugandans, the identification number issued by the government of Uganda or a passport number. Please note that payment of the protected deposits to all categories of depositors listed above shall be made less any outstanding loans or any other obligations to the bank. Payment of deposits in excess of the protected limit of 10 million Uganda shillings shall be handled by the Bank of Uganda in line with Section 105 of the Financial Institutions Act 2004 as amended.
The total depositors for Mercantile Bank, they are 2,815. And of these, 2,686 are fully protected. And that represents 94%, meaning that this particular number, they all had balances below 10 million. And then 6%, representing 164 depositors, are partially protected, meaning that they had balances beyond 10 million. In terms of the amounts, for the fully protected, the total amount to be paid by DPF is around 1.39 billion. And for the partially protected, the actual amount to be paid to these depositors by DPF is 1.64 billion. So the total amount to be paid by DPF is 3.03 billion in total. Also, what I could share with you, in terms of the individuals that had balances below 1 million, there were 1,692, and this represents 59% of the depositors. As indicated by CEO, we have started processing their payments. The individuals above 1 million to 10 million, there were 288, and this represents 10%. Then the individuals above 10 million and non-individuals, that is companies, joint accounts and trust accounts, there are 870, and that represents 31%.
Banking sector remains sound and solid. We've been having 33 institutions, now we just have one less. It's not like half of the banks have been closed, and the Governor Bank of Uganda has been very clear that the sector is resilient, the sector is strong. So the depositors should continue banking with confidence, but like we have always said, depositors should learn their banks, should monitor the performance of their banks, because while the banks are open and operational, you might not rule out one or two weaker banks. So that is what we are encouraging the banking the public to do. So no fire on the mountain. About the policy threshold, before we increased this threshold to 10 million in 2019, it was 3 million for over 20 years. That was put in place in the early 19s, I think 1994. That is when that limit was put in place. That remained operational for 20 years until we came into office and took charge of the fund as a separate legal entity. That limit was reviewed basing on many factors. The deposit base in the country had increased, the exchange rate had also changed significantly, and so many other parameters that we looked at. And so therefore it was resolved that we needed to increase this limit 3 times, from 3 million to the 10 million. At the 10 million, we are covering around 98% of the depositors. And as my director finance has indicated, for this particular bank, we are covering 94% of the depositors. So the 10 million, as we speak now, is adequate. However, the core principles of deposit insurance, which guide our operations, say that every 5 years you need to review this and see, is it still adequate? Are you still able to cover a majority of the small, unsophisticated depositors? So this year, we are going to conduct a review and see if there is need to review this limit upwards. But when we are reviewing the limit, we also have to be cognizant of certain things. For example, you've asked about the money. We have to have the money to pay. Because if we say now the insurance limit is, let's say 500 million, a bank is closed and we can't pay, we haven't helped the confidence in the sector. So as you're looking at a limit, you're also looking at your ability to pay. You're looking at protecting a majority of the small and sophisticated depositors who don't have information like you to make informed decisions as they are banking. You have to look at the regional balance, because we don't want to have a very high insurance limit in Uganda and it destabilizes the banking sector in Kenya or Tanzania. So there are a lot of parameters that you look at as you're coming up with the insurance limit. But as it is now, it is adequate. But that does not mean that we're not going to review it and see if there is any way of affording an increment from the current 10 million shillings.